Welcome to Stef Draws. I'm Stefan de Groot, a Dutch illustrator and animator, but you can call me Stef. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to color a tiger cub with Pastel pencils. The only thing you need is Pastel pencils and a piece of paper. Let's get started. When I start out coloring in my illustration with Pastel pencils, I first sharpen them, and I don't use a normal sharpener because the points will break. What I use is a sharpener for pencils you use for an eye pencil, and you can buy them at a drugstore. For this tutorial I'm going to use several colors, so a pink for his nose, orange for his body, and white for his belly and for his snout, and brown color for doing the shades of the body. And I'm going to start out with a light orange, and when I color in with Pastel pencils I don't press too hard, because in that way you can blend other colors. If you go over it with another color, then you can blend it better, and if you press too hard you push it down into the tooth of the paper. I'm working on a colored paper, and it's paper for pastels or Pastel pencils, because this paper has a little bit more of a tooth, so it will take the Pastel pencils better. And I'm first going to do the basic color of the tiger cub, and I transferred this illustration from a sketch, and you can see that in another video I did. I will put a link in the description box down below, or you can press on the eye on the right side of the screen, and then you can go to that video. I also made a PDF of this tiger cub, and you can download it on my website. I also leave a link to that PDF below this video. So you first color in very lightly with the orange pencil, and I'm just going to time-lapse this, and I will come back to you for the next step. So I'm coloring everything that will be orange, and I just leave out the signs on his body, and also the white and other things that will be another color I will just leave alone, and I will color it in with another color. So also on the tail I will just leave the black stripes out. And what I'm now going to do, this is the basic color of the tiger cub, and I'm now using a darker orange to color in the shades, and the light comes from the right top, so everything to the left will be darker. So, and when you press in lightly, you can already blend your colors, and you'll cover more of the paper, and it will be more opaque, so you won't see the blue color of the paper. And when you press a little bit harder, you can really blend your colors. That's so nice about coloring in with Pastel pencils. You can blend them really well. As you can see, I made a mistake of smudging the drawing with my hand, and you can see the pastels on my hand, and I'm smudged it on the paper. What I use to erase is a putty rubber or a kneaded eraser, and with a kneaded eraser you can take off pastels very easily. The best thing you can do is use another piece of paper and put it on top of your paper you're coloring on. And you can rest your hand on that paper. If you remove the paper, just do it very carefully. Don't pull it down, because then you will smudge the colors of your drawing. They're still chalks, but not that chalky as parcels. So I'm just coloring in the darker values of the cup, and you can already see that it blends really well. I'm now going to draw in the highlights, and I'm using a light yellow pencil for that. And because we didn't press that hard on the paper, you can still blend lighter colors with darker colors. And I'm just putting the highlights on the right because the light is coming from the right. And you can now really see that you can really blend your colors very well with pastel pencils. You can't do this with normal pencils. So I'm also going to do the top of the tail and draw it in the shape of the tail. So this comes in really nicely. This is of course time-lapse, otherwise the video would last a little bit too long. But you really get the idea, you know, how to blend and what kinds of effects you can achieve with pastel pencils. And you can already see that the tiger cup really comes alive. I'm now going to use an even darker orange pencil. I'm going to draw in the shades a little bit heavier. And press a little bit harder to really get your pastel pencils in the tooth of the paper. And I'm now already drawing within the shapes of the character, especially for the tail, because the tail is a round form. And I'm now using a blender, and that's a pastel blender. It's made out of paper, and you can blend your colors very detailed. And for pastel pencils, it's very nice to have a blender like this, because if you want to blend it with your finger will be too big and you will lose all the details. So I'm now blending in all the colors, and to make the gradients a little bit more subtle. You really press your blend tool and you press the chalks into the tooth of the paper. What we're now going to do is color in the inside of his ears, and I'm first going to start out with the white, but the ear is going to be pink. But because there is a blue background, I'm just using the whites for making the colors a little bit more opaque. Also going to color in his snout. I always have several white pencils ready and sharpened, because you always need a lot of white, to blend your colors or make your colors a little bit lighter. And white isn't that opaque, especially if you have a dark blue background like this. You really need to press a little bit harder to get the Pastel pencils into the tooth of the paper. So I'm now using another white pencil. And this is a bigger shape, so you can blend it in first with your fingers. And after that you can color it in again with white. I'm now using a different kind of Pastel pencil, and this is a little bit harder, so it will be more opaque. This is a Pastel pencil by Caran d'Ache, and they're a little bit drier, so they are a little bit more opaque. They're a little bit whiter. I'm now using a gray pencil to draw in the shades of his belly and to make it more of a shape, and you can achieve that with darker values. And I'm pressing a little bit harder, and in that way you can blend the colors really well or use your finger. I'm going to do his feet as well, and I'm going over his nails because I'm going to add some shades to his feet as well, and then the nails will pop up. So just draw the shades within the shape of his feet, and you can already see his nails come out. Now going to apply the pink for his nose, and the same pink pencil I'm using for the inside of his ears, but they are a little bit lighter because the background is done with white pencils. Now using a darker orange or a dark red to shade in his nose. Now I'm going to apply the blacks, and I'm using the paper underneath my hand so I won't smudge the rest of the pastels. And black is of course the darkest color, so it's easier to go over pastels with a darker tone than the other way around. In that respect, it looks a little bit like working with watercolors. So I'm coloring in all the stripes on his face, and I left those out because I just wanted a pure black on those spots. And when you lift your paper, just don't pull it down, but take the paper and pick it up and then put it on your paper again. Otherwise you will smudge your colors. Also doing the stripes on his tail and on the end of his tail, and finally doing the nails on his feet. And because I have transferred this drawing with white carbon paper, and white carbon paper is a little bit more fat, so I'm just going to eliminate those white outlines by pressing a little bit harder with a dark brown pencil. And it's just, touching up the drawing, and I'm going back and forward with the dark brown pencil and a very dark orange pencil. Get in some highlights within the shape of the tail. I'm using the Caran-d'Ache white, which is a little bit drier, so it will stick much better to the paper to do the highlights. And it's just touching up until you're satisfied with the end product. And in this way you can color a tiger cub with Pastel pencils. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. In that way you won't miss a single video. Drawing is fun and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles!